Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream here on the twitch.tv/thexisuma, streaming from the new PC, the new setup, which means anything could go wrong, because although I've spent a lot of time checking settings and making things as they're supposed to be, you never know what you missed. So far the stream looks good. And we've got a noise in the air. It's Winnie T. Ford for 62 months. Hope all is well. Enjoy your new PC. Thank you, Winnie. And Winnie, you help us testing. You helping because we've got Evil X hanging out now. So does this work? Because it should do, because I tested them all manually. Oh, look at that, it works. Beautiful. We've got Evil X in his house. Cole Meko 6, thank you for 23 months. Stefan RBK's here for 41. And we have a new Patreon, Naval Grippage. Naval, I hope you enjoy playing on the Let's Play Minecraft Together server and being a part of our wonderful Patreon community. Thank you for signing up. I just watched the vid how you posted a pic of your setup. Lol, says IceDrag. I have not posted a picture of my setup, nor have I made a video about it, so I don't know what that means. Lord Mate Whitey, thank you so much for subscribing with the Prime. We also got Horned Astrologer for 5 months with the Prime too. Here I am walking back and forth in my head trying to make a mental map to where I need to go. We'll head down here. Does Scar have a tunnel to Scarland? I don't think he does. I don't think Scar does. Is it messing up for anyone else? Says Jamie Nicole. Now you got me panicking like Anakin. What's going wrong? Surely not. This should be a silky smooth stream on a whole new setup. The stream title is foreshadowing, yeah. Well, if something goes wrong, it says it up there. I certainly anticipate things potentially going wrong. When he sounds great to me. So far, so good, right? Anyway, we're off to Scarland. We're gonna do some redstone at the beginning. It's sort of like speculative redstone. Oh my god, it's so beautiful! Yeah, we're going to do some speculative redstone. What I mean by that is, just found a really interesting quirk in Scar's base over here. And it had me thinking about a potential solution. If you saw Scar's live stream, you'll know about this. Oh. There's an egg! There's a giant egg! I wonder if it'll hatch. Oh my god, what happened here? I did not expect to see such a thing today. Oh my. Yikes. I think Scar's thing broke. Let me tell you about this problem, right? When you put items into here, this is going to pull out those items. And if there's only one of the item in the first slot, it only takes out one. So there's this interesting challenge, how do you get this to take out the maximum amount of drops each and every time? I hope this has nothing to do with my redstone that I attached. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't. Scar has so many items, it is absolutely bonkers. I don't want to nudge them. We look over here, where did they come from? Because they kind of look like they didn't come off some rails. Did this thing freak out? That right there, I think, is where they dispense. Disaster happens. Scar showed Tango yesterday. He broke the machine. Okay, good. Because my redstone didn't appear to touch anything. And just the way they've spat out like this is rather peculiar. It kind of suggests they've come from a direction. But there's no sign of a rail or dispenser thing over here. So I know this system used a lot of hopper minecarts. The one that we opened here. This is supposed to have a bunch of other hopper minecarts in it, funny enough. They would be coming from up here. And it's no surprise to see that bit is empty. Interesting. We got words. The Zebra 16 gifting subs to Kanaturad and Baby Queen 42. Here on my new system with the Windows 11, the sub stuff sort of displays a little different. Quite curious. Thank you ever so much for gifting subs. Appreciate you supporting our channel that way. If you heard your name being read out loud, be sure to say thanks in the chat. Oh, stuff was despawning as well over here. Oh dear. Do they have items in? I did not think to look. Yeah, look at that. They got items in. Oh, so they're the ones that would have gone around the system. They would have loaded up and headed off here into that. But some... Maybe it's when they... Do they come back this way? Like... What are these? Oh my god. There's so much stuff. If they come back this way as full hopper minecarts and then go up and across... Like, now they kind of look like they're in line with where they went there, but I don't understand entirely what's going on here. Anyway, I built a little system to essentially, if this thing fills up, like, quite a bit, it'll lock the hoppers, and that means then the items can drain one by one. So you start to take out more items. However, if you've got, like, the odd item like this, you still have the problem of the one hopper minecart picking it up. Which, now that I come back here and look at it again, it kind of makes me wonder if what I'm going to show you is actually going to be entirely useless. So let's just make a little mock of the setup. Like, there is this hopper minecart here that then goes around the corner, right? And currently what we have is a chest above it. I'm wondering if you could set this up slightly different. So the problem is that in order to maintain this fast item transfer speed, you kind of have to continuously use hopper minecarts, right? Let's grab ourselves an iron trapdoor. So what if this loading part here... yeah, I had a feeling it might do that. Not a problem. Where did it go? I know what it did. It's there. It bumped itself onto the rail below. Okay, so maybe you need like a slab. You need a higher block here. Let's try it again. That jumps too. Interesting. Is there... I mean, an enchanting table is like a non-full block. Like, can we rest it on an enchanting table? Oh. This is causing me... So, my first idea looks like it might get shot out the park immediately. Like, isn't there a way to vertically transfer with these? Let's do a test, right? I'm pretty sure this is complete bogus. If I put that in... Oh, okay, no, that transfers. And it transfers at the fastest speed. Good to know, good to know. So, we're getting somewhere. However, bit of a problem. Maybe not a problem. Does it transfer when it's on a rail? Because I had a different idea here. Oh, well, the answer is no, it doesn't. Okay. Okay. So, idea number one, if that's sitting on there, this one can take the items out. Now we need a boat with a chest. Average Martin, thank you ever so much for 37 months of support. Greatly appreciated. And the one and only Lucro1357 here for 53 months. Fun fact, cave spiders can't apply poison when they're under the effect of weakness. How did I not know that? That's, that's a thing. Dang. That's cool. Thanks for sharing. You know that trick with the trapdoor? That would actually be much more applicable at this point in time. Okay, so now what we can do with a hopper is move items into that boat, like from a variety of different locations. If only I hadn't placed the boat. Ha, we can then do that after. So now, I think I see what's going on here. By the way, I got this like cup of coffee here. I'm like, don't let it go cold. Don't let it go cold. Oh, one more block. One more little bit of redstone, please. Please, X. Now, all of those can point into that. And I think plus more. So, let's do a little bit of math together. The transfer speed of a hopper is 2.5 items a second. AKA 4 ticks. And we got gifted subs from Pax11. Gifting subs to Sinister Aries, Rapid 8000, Hyman Taloon, Retro Mum, and Little Trasher. Y'all been gifted subs, so sure to say thanks in the chat. And Pax1, thank you so much for supporting our community. Hey X, it's been about 5 years since I stumbled across your content and watched after school. And now I'm in university and I stumbled across one of your streams again. I didn't realise I'd been missing this so much. Oh, well, glad to have you back again. It's Lillian Rose. Hope university is going well. And here's some slurpage for you. Oh, that might have knocked the microphone. Sorry. Pax once has got to bounce. We'll hopefully be back later. Well, thanks for popping in and thank you for being generous with those gifted subs. Hope to see you later, my dude. Going to be streaming for about 2.5 hours today. Null Void Face, thank you ever so much for 4 months of support. Hello, chatters. Watching this with my rescue birds, Bingus and Bongus. What great names. Great names. Thank you so much for your support, my dude. What about Honey Block, says Ice Drag. Oh, yeah, Honey Block. Okay. Well, considering a full block actually works, we don't really need to explore that. Oh, my goodness me. That's nice. What mod do you guys use to show who is logged into a server before you log in? That is not a mod, that is just vanilla Minecraft. Now, if we want to multiply this by 9, I'm not quite sure how to calculate that. I remembered this, I thought I'm all clever with this, I'm all brain smarts with this bit. I mean, I guess it's 9 items every 4 ticks. So then in 1 second, which is like 5 times that amount. So isn't that like 45? Yeah. 45 items 1 second. That might be useful. Because I don't know what the transfer speed of this is. If we go 1, 2... Sounds like that's fine. I feel like I must have calculated something wrong there. I think that's right though, because it's 1 item every tick. So 9 items every... Sorry, 1 item every 4 ticks. So 9 items every 4. 45 items every... That seems good to me. So... This looks promising, right? But now you've got to evenly distribute all of your items into there. And this, by the way, this doesn't... I think this still doesn't address the key issue of having, like... What if you get 1 item come through? But the idea being... that you could channel items through faster. I don't think it... Actually, I think... It's hard to tell if this problem... If this problem is, like... always going to behave the same way regardless of how fast you try and put items into it. Because if we get a single item come through, it's just going to transfer 1 like that, right? Like, you got to imagine this thing is full. So here comes our 1 item, and then the other ones fill up. It only ever puts the 1 item in it on its own in. So it could be, no matter how smart the system above is, it's always going to get throttled by the same problem. Chat, anyone understand the problem and have any thoughts on it? Now's the time to share, because I'm thinking we could probably leave it there, because the next I guess strategy would be you know what, this popper minecart here might be kind of pointless. Like, it is, like, just picture that one as this. You just need it to go directly to the boat, right? Unless the boat can't sit like that. Yeah, the boat might not sit. Here, let me show you what I mean. So, let's put a boat... In fact, let's do that, and then put the boat there. Oh, okay, so that's the proper way to do it, like that. But anyway, the next challenge would be to... Oh, that does also transfer into there. That's cool. Yeah, the next challenge is to then evenly distribute your items across 9 hoppers. And then you got to consider that, like, where are those items coming from? Are they coming from other hoppers? Because if you do something like this... Okay, let's not even talk about the fact this won't evenly distribute it. But you're throttled by the single hopper speed. So on that note, if we come back to this idea, I think what we want to be doing is visiting the possibility that this thing travels like back and forth on a rail, which currently you can't do. Oh, this is really got me interested now. We need to have it on a rail going back and forth, but this needs to be able to pick up those items. That's super interesting. X, be aware the sorter reads the fullness of the chest. Why do we need to be aware of that? Try mud or soul sand. I think we'll just have the same problem. It'll go straight onto the rail. It's just yeah, actually I don't think it's possible. Anyway, let me explain what I think the problem is going to be. Let's say we rally this thing back and forth between like a regular chest was the next step. I actually think that you can't really solve for this problem because it's always just going to encounter the same thing, where one item comes through and therefore it slows, right? So maybe the smarter thing to do, okay, and now this is like the most over-engineered solution ever, is imagine a massive item filtering system. It's going to be huge because every single module, its job would be to wait until you've got 32 or however many of that item before sending those off, right, and letting that filter into the system. And then you're holding items in another storage and yada yada yada. I don't think this is solvable. What do you think, chat? I think this problem may just be like a barrier in the game that's hard to overcome unless you really rebuild the entire like system to work a different way. Pre-sort the sorting, I like it. Lameo says, Shushwig. Essentially, yeah, like that would technically do it, but then not really what you want, is it? Rapscallion says, just need a different input. Can you elaborate what that means? Xisuma, what if there's a redstone safety for the minecart, so after X amount of time it's forced to go, meaning it can't be held up by a single item? Yes, that would be a case of activating it a little quicker. It could be held up by a single item. I think what you're getting at is just optimize it so that it moves out as fast as possible. That's not really overcoming the actual problem, though. Can you detect the flow rate of the input hopper, so once it detects that no more items are going into the minecart, it will send it? Yeah, I don't think that's... That could potentially be a way to do it. Send it off a little earlier each time. Anyway, having dug into that a little deeper, I thought we were going to find a solution, but it's... Yeah, it just seems like this thing is hardwired to be a limitation on that. The only thing being... Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a solution. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Have a little think. You know, use your noggin. See if you can come up with something. You can always... gosh, burps. You can always tweet it at me. Excuse me. If 2.5 items get transferred every second by one hopper, then 9 hoppers will put 22.5. Oh yeah. Wait, how did I get that math so wrong? I went wrong somewhere there, didn't I? Oh, B-Dubs has been expanding this area a little bit, hasn't he? Where's the actual... Oh, there it is. It's all the way over there. God, it's right on top of it. Right on top of it. This bit. Dang, beautiful. I like that. Woo! Very cool idea. Very cool idea just to put something rocky like that in there. And the custom terrain is just wonderful. This thing, though, this thing needs cleaning up. There's something I've been meaning to mention, like in my streams and on my videos. I am thinking about perhaps putting a wrap on my base once I finish a few more projects and going communal. And one of the communal things I could do would be help tidy up something like that. Maybe just do some little like odd things here and there. But I've got a couple of ideas for big communal projects that could bring in potentially a lot of other hermits to add something special into the world. And I'm going to have a chat soon with them about it. And if I get like the go-ahead, then I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and like pivot and change the way we're playing for the rest of the season. Focus on some different ideas and stuff. Foul Relic 23. Thank you so much for 9 months. That is a Twitch baby. Let's see if that emote works. We've got to do all the emotes today. Pumpkin Bunny, thank you for 2 months. And Salicidon, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate you using that on me. Thank you. Punky says, how's your day going? Hope everyone is having a boot screwing boogie of a time. Yeah, it's been another good day on planet Earth. Dogbite, thank you for 11 months. I miss watching your streams because I've been so busy, but your streams are always so great. Thank you for the lovely message. Life's keeping you busy. I think being busy is good. Game District, says Free Milton. Oh no, nothing like that. In fact, let me think. Both projects will be things you probably haven't seen. They haven't been done in Hermitcraft before, and they're probably not been done a lot. I don't know. They feel like things you wouldn't have seen before. Maybe one of them kind of has somewhere, probably. Someone's always done it before you. There's a big world full of other people. But yeah, they're going to be very 2 unique projects, which I think will really complement what Hermitcraft is all about. Right, I've been in the Nether just doing some various bits and bobs. Oh yeah, I got all of that. That's some stuff that needs... Yeah, this place is starting to get a little disorganized again. Those things... Oh yeah, that's for that project, right. God, I got like they're sort of semi-arranged for different projects and stuff. Is kind of what's going on here. Oh yeah, that'll all need to be, well, pretty much unloaded through this thing. Yeah, now let's focus on what we're going to do today before I get distracted by this stuff. Wrong chest. Here's the right chest. Need some more steak. If Season X isn't Doomguy themed, the disappointment will be immeasurable. I hear that the current plan for Season 10 is that it's going to be crafted themed. So everything's got to be crafted. You know, because of the X, right? Like, it would be a huge disservice to just ignore someone on the server, you know? Because the coincidence of it being Season X is just, you know, not a coincidence, of course. It clearly means something rather significant. I wonder if that snow layer could, like, mess with the contraption. I seem to recall on occasion sending this thing out and being like, what? Why have you broken? And then noticing, like, snow is settling on it or something silly. Hey X, if the bottleneck is the fact that the minecart doesn't depart when it's not full enough, wouldn't a timer, like 10 seconds, that starts with a single item, enters the minecart and then sends it off, fix it? It doesn't fix the problem. What you're getting at is that it could be more efficient. So if it being completely full happens in a smaller amount of time than when the minecart gets sent off, then there's room for improving the efficiency. But what you can't do, I'm pretty sure, you can't go ahead and change that in a way. Let me think. Like, trying to think about the best way to describe it. You can't detect what's in it in a way. Dang it! Where's my shulker box for this project here? Need to go grab that. You can't detect the items at the right, let's say, fidelity, right? Or maybe you can. Maybe you luck out and it turns out that the comparator actually can read at that level. But then you got to like mess around with a whole different setup for that hopper minecart there. So somewhere down here there should be one of these with loads of stems in. Or maybe, did I run out of stems? I think that I might have run out of stems. Okay, there are chests here that are clearly for, like, sorting. And I don't know why. In fact, I think I might give this thing a run and just drop the camera count on in the background. I haven't tested my AFK profile yet, so definitely a great idea to do that live. Nothing could go wrong there. Snow can ruin Slimestone if it activates on an observer block and update something bug-powered. Otherwise, it's no different to air blocks. Yeah, there's definitely a chance of it doing something bug-powered, I think. Oh yeah, today I was trying to get Optifine to run on this system. I had so much hassle. Like, couldn't determine if it was like conflicting with another mod or not, because it seemed to just change on a whim, right? Like you got it to work with this combo of mods. You add another one, it stops working, but it's not that mod that stops it. It's just I don't know. It seems to get like really fussy once you have a certain amount of mods. Like once you got more than 5 or 6, all these combos just break down and stop working. So yeah, I was just trying to try out Optifine. Where do I store mushroom blocks again? I thought it was over here. We'll have to find out. I feel like mushroom blocks probably should have had their own separate little area, but we left some back there for future updates, which are actually, dang it, which are actually coming real soon because we got the pre-release, right? So we now know 1.20 is probably just a couple of weeks away, really. It will fly by, trust. Is it this one here? Because this one has mushrooms in. Maybe I never set up filters for it. Let's go check. I'm gonna have to look at something on my system. Hermitcraft, Season 9. Storage. What one are we looking at here? Like the 4th chest, I think? Yeah, no, I never set it up. Okay. Well, now we know the mystery here is that is supposed to be that. And that these belong somewhere down here. Cool, not bad. What are the specs of the new system, says Chill Brian? Just top-end everything. And it's a bit of a story. One that kind of bums me out a bit because I like being Mr. like, I don't know. I like making stuff last and being efficient. And the journey that I've been on with this new setup has just been a little bit like, if I'd have known all of this now, I might not have bothered. That being said, one of the big things that's actually quite good about this new system is that it means my backup is much more of a legitimate backup, whereas before it was more like a backup that couldn't really do much, right? It was an old system. Okay, let's go up. So here's the thing, right? What's prompted me to get a new system is just that classic Minecraft lag. You know, you go to some certain area and it's like, oh my god, like the frames is killing me, and it sort of convinced me that, yeah, I probably need to upgrade the system then, right? And in the process of doing that, along comes this Minecraft update. We get a snapshot that changes the lighting engine. So here I am doing some tests, you know. Wow, big performance gains, and I'm starting to think, maybe I could have hung on. You know, when 1.20 comes, these problems are going to be solved. So then I do a little bit more of like a deeper dive into the performance, right? Properly testing it. And I learn that it's a single mod that is causing all of these issues. It is called dynamic lighting. You might have noticed we have had no frame drops, right? But we also don't have dynamic lighting on at the moment. I'll go to the laggy spot. Loads of you have seen it. You'll recognize it. You'll be like, oh yeah. Moaning about this spot again. Yeah, your old PC is still very good, says Chill Brian. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's decent. I mean, but here's the thing. Now I've just got like a proper solid backup. I can look at it that way. I reckon I could have easily stretched another couple of years out of that machine, but hey, it is what it is. And I also had this thought as well of like, my laptop is basically a backup too. Like, so I feel like I've done something like really inefficient, which, I'll be over it before long, right? I really like making stuff last and being effective with it. So look, 80 FPS, like, and that's where I've capped it as well. I usually cap it at 90, but I thought I'd, cause like it's so smooth. If I just drop it down to like 80, 70, there'll be even more resources for the game. So there you go. Trow says, you are a content creation professional. I don't think you should be beating yourself up over getting a new computer. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't, but let's ask why am I? Because understanding why is what's important here. The reason why I'm this way is because, like I said, I really like being effective and efficient. And I guess one of the things that I do is I look out into the world and I look at all the stuff that's going on, and sometimes it feels like things are really inefficient and wasteful, and I wish that they could be a different way. Like a lot of, I don't know, technological devices, they get used up quickly and kind of cast out and thrown away for the next thing. There's my bone supply. Let's sort this out. And I just wish, hey, we can make those things last longer. That's why with my phone, it happened with my phone actually, right? So I was pretty content with my phone. It was absolutely fine, no problems at all. Didn't really need to upgrade it or want to. Now that I have upgraded it, I will say the benefits of upgrading, the bigger screen size and a few extra things that came with it, did feel worthwhile in the long run. But here's the deal, like, the reason that I upgraded it was because it was running out of space for me to do stuff. And I thought, you know, I've got to get bigger storage, basically, and I can't actually upgrade it because it's all maxed out and yada yada yada. By the way, what we came over here for, the one block, I haven't spotted it, which is those mushroom stems, right? Where did they end up? Were they in here? I think I must have lost track and left something somewhere. Or we just need to go farm some more. Anyways, in the process of moving to the new... There's a very similar story here. There's a very similar story. In the process of moving to the new phone, I discovered that one of my apps, what's it called? Audible, is saving audiobooks in the wrong place. It says it's supposed to save them on my SD card. It's storing them in the internal memory. And as I clear out like a couple of the downloads, the space frees up and all of a sudden I've got space to install apps again. And I'm like, this is why I brought a whole new phone? Like, it just felt so wasteful, right? That's what makes me feel this way, you know? Like, I get gratification when it's like, hey, my phone, this one I'm using right here, is 10 years old. Like, that's what I get gratification out of. That's what makes me feel good. So if I'm using this computer in 9 years' time, I'm going to be chuffed. I'm going to be like, yeah, that hardware's run a little bit of a race. It's still around. A marathon is what I mean. It's done the marathon, not the sprint. What phone do you have? It's an M50 something. I don't know. Like, they put numbers and letters on them, and it's got a screen. Well, it doesn't actually have buttons, does it? They're long gone, the old buttons. This is what I needed next. That was a good catch. And I'll put most of these away too. Oh, and I didn't put my camera account in. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. I got this one little bug that annoys me. When I open a game, I get this like message from Microsoft about some sort of program or something, and it's like, yep, and then I click it and it goes away, and it's like, I don't need to see that. Where am I? Like, let's teleport to me. Okay, so now my camera account is doing its job, and it's loading this area while we leave. There we go. Right, now the cleaning lady has got no claim in this territory because everything here is purposeful. Okay, this is all part of project planning and getting ready for the... Oh, look, there it is. I found it. I only had 24, though. Good time for us to leave, really, because we got what we wanted. Okay, let's grab an axe. Uh-huh. No. The axe is my primary weapon. Okay, continue. Oh, no, wait. We need to silk touch, right? Needs a silk touch. There is an axe for this job. And one day we'll upgrade it with some netherrack. But that day is not today. I remember a while back I just felt like grinding some netherrack. We did it on stream. And I was going to give the netherrack to Tango. And then he was like, nope, got all I need. And I was like, oh, guess I'll upgrade some stuff. We got noises in the ear, by the way. I've been deep in the waffles. We got Configging here for 6 months. Base J8 also for 6. And Chapter Corey for 33. Thank you for your continued support, peeps. I appreciate you putting up with me. X, you can turn that notifications off in the settings. It's called Xbox Game Bar. It's also known to take some of your performance away. It is not only disabled, it is also uninstalled from the system, and it still gives me the message when I log in, which is just super annoying. This is what I don't like about Windows. Okay, it's just there's always all this extra stuff all the time because they, you know, they're pushing their products and whatnot, not. So they try and integrate all of their stuff into Windows, and it's like, I want you to be an operating system, you know, not this pushing all these other products on me. Goofy Bar says Game Bar can't be uninstalled. Oh, you can uninstall it. You just have to know what you're doing. I know how to debloat Windows. It's like the first thing I did. I didn't install anything. I spent all the time carefully ripping out the things that I didn't want. And it helps the performance a lot because there's loads of little applications that are just there in the background. And individually they don't do a lot, but they add up, you know. So I get the system nice and streamlined and just try and, you know, use as little resources as I can, really. Why don't you have Silk Touch on your main battle axe? I don't know. I just went with Fortune instead. Fortune 2, apparently. This thing could be upgraded, you know. We could go Fortune 3 on that sucker. Huh. It only lets you do the bone mill when you're holding the axe. I wonder how it just decides when you're allowed to use your offhand and not. There's a calculation for that, you see. Oh, is that thing on egg mode? Let's go up there and have a look. Oh man, I like that my frame rate is still smooth. Yes. I mean, it's pushing it a little bit, but it's, oh god, the noises. Oh, this thing has not run out of shulker boxes yet. Oh, I like that. We should put in some more shulker boxes while we're here. I like that. Why would I need so many eggs? I don't know. You know, just saving them for something maybe. Let's get more eggs. Here's something that I did. I put that in there because you always need it when you open this chest. Oh, how many do I want as well? Like, let's do 32. I guess I should craft them up there. Otherwise, I'm just doing a lot of back and forth. What? The new PC, says Ditto Scraz. What? The new PC? What? The new PC? I mean, I don't know. It's a new PC, what can I say? Right, does that thing has, yeah, that thing has additional storage too. Good. Oh my god, they make so much soundage. So much soundage. I can't remember if there's anything above that though. Well, there you go. Made a few too many. Very cursed sounds, yes. Speaking of sounds, do I sound different? What? Huh? Yeah, probably not. Okay, chuck that in there. Pick that up, continue with the process. I don't know how many more of these we need. But let's say we aim for a bit more than what we currently got. Oh wait, I've already got that in the offhand. I think what I'm going to do now is just not bother trying to pick up the brown ones. Just get rid of them and then move on. Because otherwise you spend all this extra time just collecting something you don't really need. Remember to update xisumavoid.com/specs after the stream. I'll keep annoying you until you do it. Lucro, feel free to annoy me all you want. I immediately think I can't be bothered. I'm kind of ready to get back into the groove, right? Like, I'm kind of sick of doing little computer jobs. Just want to hit that flow again. So, I don't know, maybe I will at some point. Have you considered the mod that lets you stack empty shulker boxes in your inventory, or is it too modded for Hermitcraft? Yeah, that's a like both a client and a server-side mod. So no, that's I'm not even gonna ask. Like, I don't think I'd even want that. Hey, GamerNix, thank you for the nice message. I think that's a carpet feature. Oh, right. I use carpet, but we don't have that enabled. I mean, it seems like a nice idea. You can always make things easier. But then, you know, not everyone has the same vision of how the game should be. So when you play it on a communal server like Hermitcraft, y'all got to agree. Hey, we got Mr. Spocky Cag here for 6 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate your continued support, my dude. Thank you so much. It's called Carpet Mod, and it's a game rule. It's only server side. Right, yeah. Yeah, Carpet Mod's... I think it's on the server and on my client, but yeah, I'm not going to enable it. Does anyone know why eggs aren't stackable up to 64? Always seemed weird to me. It was just one of those things, like, back in the day, some items were non-stackable 16 or 64. I don't know what the reasoning was, really. I'm pretty sure Notch said at some point in time like, what the reasoning was, but... I think with Ender Pearls, the idea was that it was, like, because the item was very useful and valuable at the time, like, they wanted to balance it a bit by making it harder to carry a lot of them. Remember when doors couldn't stack? Awful. Yeah, I remember. I'm a veteran. I'm an OG. Been playing since 2011. X, how complex would you go for a personal storage system? I don't know what you mean by complex. And if you want a personal storage system, if we're talking about computers, really what you're going to pick needs to suit what your use case is. And I don't know what that is, so... For me, I've always liked the idea of having some sort of like network attached storage or backup or something a little automated, but it's always just felt like it's never really quite worth it because of the nature of, I don't know, the backup that I need, right? Like it would be overkill or something. No, like chests and hoppers and stuff, says Rapscallion. Right, okay. Talking about Minecraft. I got the new computer on the mind. Again, same thing really. It's just about like what are your needs, right? Like you wouldn't build some sort of mega sorting system when all you needed was something casual. Okay, we almost got 2 stacks. That seems like a good spot to get to. Networked chests. If only they could be networked, eh? Actually, I had a bit of a weird idea earlier. Doc has this thing at his base. Well, it's not at his base. It's outside his base. Anyway, it's like an anvil shooting machine. And it's got an interface where you cross-reference a position on a grid using string, right? To activate hookwire. Hookwire? Tripwire. Hooks. Dang it, none of that sounds right. Anyway, so the idea being that each coordinate is unique because it will activate a different combination. And it got me thinking, like, what if you wanted to call something in Minecraft? Like you wanted to say, hey, give me this. Then wherever you're standing and you let off a firework rocket is a unique spot. So you could put like an item frame on the ground, or you could use just a block, right? So like cobblestone, diorite, and then it calls your storage and sends off a shulker box, and like plops it down near the interface so that you like click on the block and then it brings it to you. And if you could make that thing kind of fast and snappy, I was wondering how good that would be. Would that be a good interface for storage? I don't know. I always find it weird when YouTubers watch other YouTubers, but of course they do, but it still seems weird to me. I watch mostly YouTube content, so watching YouTubers is most of my entertainment. I don't know why that would be weird though. Like, I'm a YouTuber, I'm on the platform, doesn't it make sense that I would be consuming, you know, that kind of content? It'd be really weird if I wasn't. Then again, I'm a Twitch streamer who doesn't watch Twitch streams. Although I do tune in for the occasional Hermit stream and stuff. What if you combine Doc's interface with Tango's game UI with the map? Or did you mean something different? I was talking about storage, not Tango's game UI. Like, currently you're like, oh, this thing over here, and grab those out of there. What I was thinking is that if you had a grid, and what was below you was what each bit represented, then when you set off a firework rocket, it would bring the shulker box to you and plop it nearby. I just wondered if that was a better interface or just a different, more interesting one. Like, you know, you're in your storage area. I want that. There it is. Bam. Firework rocket, and then it brings it to you. If it could be made kind of fast, I imagine it would be like at least a decent concept. But I don't know if it would be the sort of concept where you'd want to replace like a classic storage system like this. Like what I'd say what slows you down with one like this is remembering where stuff is. It's okay with like wood types, but then other categories, maybe they need to be spaced out a little bit more. You know, you need a bigger system so you can have those options better spaced out. It sounds like a storage system vending machine. Yeah, it would be more like a vending machine. It would give you one thing at once. And it would be for bulk storage. Or you could have categories of blocks, you know, like you ask for diorite and it gives you polished, regular, you know, the whole shebang. Oh yeah, we also need those blocks. Why am I doing such a bad job today of remembering what we need? What I really need to do is actually just pick up a whole bunch of stuff. Because what we're going to do in a moment is some redstone and some design, possibly. So if we think ahead a little further, yeah, like these are gonna come into the design of what we're gonna do next. I feel like iron bars will. In fact, what I need is blocks like this. This is gonna be the last section, right? The light blue terracotta I really liked. I need to remind myself because in this world we had some cool textures. There was something here. Yes, warped wood. And copper. Oh yes. Yes, that's what I remember now. Warped wood and copper will be some building blocks. Where me warp? Oh, there it is. There's me warped wood. Is someone? Oh, don't forget your status. What's my status, G? Do I have to go get some copper? Where's all my copper at? I think it's down in the David machine. What type of content do you usually consume on YouTube? Not sure if you already said that. Had to take off my headphones for a second, says Skipperdo. I consume a lot of learny stuff. Podcasts with... I like physics and AI. Technology-oriented things. Mathematics sometimes. I like listening to that kind of stuff. Sometimes with businessy people. I like a lot of health-related topic as well, like about sports science, nutrition, things like that. And yeah, in the form of podcasts and video essays tends to be what I consume. Right, look at that. Are we looking at a whole row that malfunctioned? Now, if I remember correctly... 2 for 2. Why does that feel wrong to me? These are... Wait. I'm standing in the middle, so... Yeah, it's this side for that side. I think the buttons are actually to help you move the items about. So... Oh no. Haha. Gotta remember how it works now, peeps. So we want that torch to be on, which seems to be what happens when 2 of these are in the one above. Right, but it didn't pull it in. It's because I did it too quick. Huh. I am a little bit miffed. Yeah, so that doesn't change. Let's put them back in. Ah, okay. I don't know what would cause a whole row of them to, like, not activate. Is there a chunk boundary here? It could be that a little bit of the red... No, there isn't a chunk boundary here. Oh, apparently the button is to manually eject it. Right, okay. Just a bit weird that it all happened in a row. Here's the thing, though. When I manually eject it, let's see what happens. No, that doesn't do anything. That's so weird. Okay. Right. So I also then need to come over here and do that. That puts it in the fixed, finished position. That's a bit of a process, and I thought interacting with this would give me the understanding of like what's going on. But it has not done such a thing. But at least we know a way to fix it, and for the last bit, might be wise to like throw down a redstone torch. Let's just double check that. 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, yeah. Actually, I'm not sure that I need to put them up the top, like, straight away. It's just, that's what I did, so I'm repeating it. Okay, so... when that turns on, nothing's really going to change here, is it? I'm a bit... Wait, am I... I think I know what I'm doing. I'm breaking the, the ones that were okay. Is it every other one that's wrong? I'm spoofed. I'm spoofed. So everything else broke here on this one. How odd. Do we have another situation like this over here as well? Well. No, wait. They're out, right? And then that one, if it weren't aged. Okay, so maybe let's go and fix this, and then it will make sense, like what to do, hopefully. So this thing about pressing the button, I think, might be applicable right now. Yes, understood. Okay. This is quite odd. I don't know if Pixel has seen this happen before, but that... like, I assumed that those few that were different from the rest were the ones that were broken. It's the other way around. So if I come back here and do that, that does nothing. This is a broken one. Do I have to press it again? Yes, understood. So they all broke. Like, they all didn't detect growth for 2 stages? That is so odd. Oh, by the way, more noises in the ear. Smartin 1018, 84 months, Evil X right there, and Rapscallion, thank you so much for your Amazon Prime subscription. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you're entertained and enjoying the stream today. Was this the one that you sent off that was partially oxidized, says Spooky? Oh my god. Did I do that? Did I really do that? Dang, well that would explain it, wouldn't it? Basically it's my fault. That rings a bell actually. That really rings a bell of like we got distracted and came back and then I pressed the button, then I was like, wait a minute, that's not a good idea. Right, now, did we just get to the ones that I thought I'd fixed? Oh, look at this. Due to the nature of the machine, it is just easy to fix now. Okay. I don't feel like I've actually encountered this issue before, so this is a learning process now. We're adding to our knowledge base. We're becoming better stewards of David today. I like it. Yeah, old envelope says, yes you did. Curls of Doom puts the derp face in chat. The only one! The only derp fiend! There's only one! Today. Yeesh. Talk about full permission to put those emotes in the chat. Thought y'all be hankering for me to press that button. I'll press it because I need to check that the thing works. I've already checked it myself, but for some reason when you're live, things don't always work as intended, do they? Wolfie says, love the stream. I'm glad you're loving it. I'm having a good time too. We're fixing David and we're reloading David. Oh, that one only needed one. Here we go. Viva Las Vegas. I don't know why that song popped into my head because I'm not exactly a Presley fan. The copper doesn't age unless it's a random tick range, right? So unless you pre-age the copper before putting it in, it's a very weird thing. Yeah, I believe we pre-aged the copper. Who designed this machine, or is it homebrewed by you? I wish I had homebrewed this. It was homebrewed by Pixel Riffs. I really love it. It's such a cool contraption. It really inspired me. It's one of the things that's helped me get back to doing some Redstone again. Like recently. I'm waiting for Mojang to like add some sort of new thing to the game where I can be like, can I flex my redstone muscle here? Because dang it, I remember the days where, I don't know, I used to make contraptions constantly and like people loved them. I used to make videos about it. Like I put out a couple a week. But then all the really smart people came to the game and I got left behind. I remember some of it was like really silly, but kind of great. So you used to do a lot more manual farming in this game. You used to have like fields of wheat that you would replant yourself and stuff. This is like going back a long way. There wasn't villages and stuff. And so I made like this filter system that would always give you enough items to replant, or the exact amount, into this chest. So like after you harvest, when you need to replant, it's the exact amount is in that chest for you. Such a cool little concept. Sometimes it was like stacking farms on top of each other and like cleverly fitting in a ladder so you could go up and down. That one got a lot of praise. People were like, whoa, not thought of doing that before. But everything else is so far gone now. So there's not really like much room to do innovations and stuff, it feels like, because you know, all the smarty pants redstoners out there, who are amazing by the way, I'm just having a little bit of fun. They'll come up with the, you know, maximal efficiency stuff. Xisuma lore update just dropped. What does that mean, lore update? Oh, do you know what I didn't do today? I was supposed to be on pre-release watch. Can I have a quick check? Well, I see that the Bedrock came out and that was it. What does lore update mean? Oh, what happened here? There we go. I like trying to make my own farms even if there's 50 guides on how to make a more efficient design, says JB Lou. Yeah, I really want to get back into that mindset of focusing on having fun. Calibrated skulks is Sep, question mark. Yep, that's definitely going to enable you to do some things. I need to look into that a little deeper and have a proper think at some point. It will definitely help with the automation of certain things in your base, like, you know, walking in, doing an activity to open a door. What does the contraction you're fixing do? Contraption, I believe is the word you're looking for. This is a copper aging facility, so all the copper that we're picking up is copper that's aged. It'll make so much more sense when I start to reload it. My idea of fun is learning how the most efficient farms work and then build them in survival. Yeah, that's it though, right? Like, if designing it is not fun for you, you don't have to. Oh, we also got to do the redstone for those beacons at some point. This is another one of those, I wrote a couple of things down that I needed to do today, and I've done everything else but. Kind of streams, you know. Yeah, I just remembered I need to install these beacons too. Building other people's farms help you learn the principles to design your own, says Alpha Poser. You know, as much as I agree, I also disagree on the grounds that there are people that build it not having a clue and don't learn. Like, if you're someone who will learn and look into and do that, then yes, you can learn. But I certainly know that some people do not approach it the same way and do not learn. Like, yeah, it's just, for some people it's like, oh, that's voodoo magic and I'll never learn, and they don't bother to learn. And sometimes it's a little bit out of reach as well. Like, I've built stuff where I'm like, I know redstone, but I don't know what's going on here. Oh, and I feel like before we continue, I should switch my desk. Uh-oh, can't see me. Oh, God, in your face. I'm going to stand up for the next bit of the stream. Laura's like, your story. For example, the Evil X is part of the Xisuma lore. I don't know how to explain it really, says Katien Nev. I know what lore is. I didn't understand what you meant by there's a lore update or whatever it was you said. Like, what's the update, I guess? What lore and how has it been updated? Do you have fun on Hermitcraft, says Wolfie. No, I've got to admit it. Oh, I hate this game. I hate playing on this server with all these nice people. I don't like Minecraft. I don't like Redstone. Oh God, why do I have to play? Oh, I'm not muted. Oh look. What was that? Forget about it. Let's keep placing. Oh, love copper blocks. God, wow. Jeez, don't know what that was a minute ago. Let's keep placing these copper blocks. Forced to do it, says Flowerlog. I'll admit, someone else is in the room and they forced me to pretend to be sad. So blame them. Scar Redstone, when you were fixing his storage system, it was a blast. Watching you explain Redstone, and Scar is calling a comparator a capacitor. Was he? I didn't even notice. I thought it was fun. Like, it's really easy to tell yourself you can't understand stuff, right? So I kept telling Scar, like, no, you can understand this. Just follow me one step at a time. Because what I built was like, it wasn't the simplest thing to understand. But in order to build it, I had to break it down into components myself. Like, I had to understand what we were trying to achieve and then how to do it with redstone. And so when it comes to explaining it, it's kind of like, I understand the steps now. It might look like I just thrown down a bunch of blocks and it does magic, but it was all built out of steps. It's a sequence of events. And when you understand and think about it like through the sequence of events, redstone becomes like a lot easier. Like, it's easy to look at this and be like, oh my God, what's going on? But you'll probably notice there's a lot of repetition. So it's like, well, you know, understanding this bit here means you understand all of those, right? All of those different rows. And then if we look closer, oh, wait a minute, it's the same module repeated over and over. So now we just need to understand what one of these is, right? And then I can say, and this module, look, it's got an output and they all link together, right? Like, it's a series of events. When these modules reach a certain state where this torch turns off, if all of them are turned off, this redstone wire will eventually turn off too, and it activates a flying machine. Like, It's a sequence of events that's taking place here. That's what most redstone is. You learn techniques and chain them together. Hopper clocks, flying machines, counters, says Alpha Poser. Yes, exactly. You learn little bits of knowledge. You don't need to know all of them to do redstone. You just need some basics, right? And then as you get more and more invested and involved with it, you'll learn more techniques and how to take advantage of them. Similar to chess, says Black Rots. I wouldn't use chess as the direct analogy. I mean, chess is just so much more like strategy and planning to it. Redstone, I think, is more comparable to computer circuits and logic. But, you know, of course there is a similarity. I'd choose something different. This is quite a simple machine, says Kot Kiaknevev. Well, compared to other stuff, it could be, because look, it's a flying machine here, and it just goes down to the end, right? And then later on, this bit of redstone here will turn off and send it back, right? And then the little modules on the side, they just interact with the blocks in a way where they pick them off as they come through and they push them out as it comes back. And there are certainly other redstone contraptions that have more complexity than that. Redstone is like 3D math. Does math exist in a third dimension? Like, why would math be two-dimensional or not one-dimensional? Or does math interact with dimensional planes based on its application? That's like saying, you know, like 4D chess and stuff. Like adding another dimensional plane to it. But I have no idea if that... Math exists in infinite dimensions, says Castle. That sounds kind of true. Like, why would it not exist in another dimension? Math seems like just something inherent that's there. There to be discovered. 3D Connect 4. See, that one makes sense because it's a two-dimensional game. Although, is Connect 4 already three-dimensional? Because you have a vertical plane and a horizontal plane, but you also have another plane which is the sequence of moves, which you could call time. So, is Connect 4 already 3D? Thus, I think that's why chess is referred to as 4D. Like, well, why 4D chess is not 3D chess is because there already is a third dimension in chess, which is the sequence of moves, right? "3D Connect 4 would be like noughts and crosses." Would it? I don't know. Number says Redstone is way over my head, but I love watching people explain it. Yeah, like don't tell yourself it's over your head though, right? Because if you like watching people explain it, chances are there's something there that you're drawn to. So if you take on the attitude of like trying to better what it is you find interesting about it, like your potential to learn is probably going to be much better for something you're genuinely interested in. So like, if you start learning redstone, then some of those explanations you're watching, more and more of it will be inherent. Oh, we're being raided. We're being raided! Oh gosh! I missed a block. Right as we finish reloading David Copperfield. Joe, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome all the raiders. I saw Joe was streaming on here. How? Oh, he's gone. Gone. How was the Joe stream? X Mr. Button. Wait, did I? Oh yeah, I didn't. It's properly loaded. I didn't send that one off, did I? Yeah, thank you again, and welcome all the raiders. Oh, look at that. We got some copper supplies down here, but we're gonna take this one with us and potentially make use of that. So all of that was just for a potential building aesthetic. Whew. Now you know where we are. We're sort of in the same area. Oh, and now I got the correct blocks over here too. Very good. And if I remember correctly, wasn't it like 7? So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was actually 7 including that one there. Good to know. Now we can finish this a little bit off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ha. Then we bring it across. We did not need a lot of these blocks really to finish this little detail off down here. Okay, so stepping out. Oh, too far down. Now I need to do the counting again because I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. I'll double check. There's already a block there for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is the one. That is the one right there. So this one doesn't have anything else. Just these blocks. It was 2, 3, 3. I've placed 3. 4, 5, and then 6 and 7. Oh gosh, it's dark up here and I can't see. This is where my dynamic lighting would usually come in, but not today. And then somewhere here, oh look at that. There's the other wall. Doesn't feel that wide when you get up into this space. Do you have an aged copper store? I do indeed, yes. I'm not sure if all of the hermits are aware of it though. Okay. That's it. That's the project right there. Not quite sure what actually happens the other side of this bit that we're digging out here. But I thought I would remove a few more blocks. So that we can start to work on it a little better. It's going to be a beautiful project when we get it underway. Right, so I mentioned that... Oh wow, is it really? Yeah, I guess it's all the way back there. So we got some redstone to do over here. Pearl is definitely aware, that's good. The more hermits that are aware, the better. You can always give them a nudge if they start talking about wanting to build with copper. We took care of that for them. Shouldn't it be one lower, the price horizontal stem? I don't think it should. How did we do it back here? Yeah, I can kind of see what you're getting at. If it were to be one lower, this should be one higher. Huh. Yeah, you might be right, actually. Let's go and adjust that then. Make a little staircase. Oh, we've got some instant mine here. So this should actually be one lower, is what we're saying. Whoops! Oh, dang it! You know what that means? You've got to replace that one, and that one. You know, I like little quirks like that in this game, the way those blocks work. But it's like, and what's the utility of it? I don't know what the utility of it, other than details and decoration. I'm not sure there's much utility to it. Is there going to be a new season of Hermitcraft when 1.20 releases? Says OX766F. You don't want another season this quick, do ya? Yeah, we're only getting started here on season 9, right? It's just the beginning. See, a Hermitcraft season starts when you've got all the farms. Right, once you've got all the stuff, that's when the good stuff happens. That's when you can start doing the things that no one expects. Oh, it is warm in here. I should have opened a window before I started streaming. And reminder to hydrate. Let's see if that one works. Oh, I need to sip some water there. We still haven't got decked out, says Raven Payne. Oh yeah, we are going to stop the season though before decked out starts, of course. You know, otherwise that would just be such a ruined opportunity for a fun joke. To be like, oh, decked out's finished, season 10. You know, God, wouldn't want to pass up that opportunity, would you now? I mean, the memes would be historic. There would just be people be talking about that one for a long time. Here we go. I thought I put some... Oh, wait, I did. Wait. Wait, how do I get there? Kind of looks like I cut myself off at some point in time. That appears to be exactly what I've done. Right. Last stream, we experimented with a little bit of a midstream break for making a cup of tea, which I fancy because I have a cup of coffee here and I hardly drunk any of it. So I'm going to go restock. How does that sound? I won't be long. I'll be coming back because all I've got to do is boil the kettle, right? So let's see if this thing works. Soon find out. Right, I'll be right back. Just going to go boil the kettle. Woo! When I took off my headset, all of a sudden, my computer sounds like, you know, a spacecraft or something. The fans on it were going wild. I've got to check out some stats here. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, it always. Wait, no, there it is. 14% GPU usage. Oh, but Slobs is using it too. Like 28% GPU usage. Oh, and Slobs is using like a lot of power for it. That's interesting. And Minecraft is fluctuating between low, moderate, and high. It's like cycling. Huh. Firefox is also interesting. I never turned the Be Right Back screen off, did I? Not that there's much to see. I'm just looking at Task Manager. Just wondering if there's things here that could be changed a little bit. I can actually see like the bandwidth of the stream as well. It's sending like 6 megabytes a second. Interesting. Yeah, it's doing video encode, and Firefox is doing video decode because I have a preview of the stream. Right, what if I get rid of that? Like, if I change that to stream health, that might reduce... That just reduced a little bit of the load on the GPU. This is an interesting thing about setting up a new system, is that you sort of go into the weeds of how your stuff's set up and you notice things that could be better. Now, having the preview of my stream is kind of useful, but if it's taking up GPU usage, maybe that could be better spent. Now, all of a sudden, Minecraft just started eating up like 40% of GPU. Like, yeah, nothing changed, right? I was just staring straight ahead. That was all I was doing. Anyway, the kettle's probably boiled. I wouldn't be able to hear because I've got these headsets on. So anyway, once again, it's a be right back. Oh, I'll tell you what's great about having a break mid-stream. I get to move about a little bit. Just been standing still. It's too much. Yes, the GPU is still... Sounds like a helicopter. Oh, brilliant. Oh, right, what's this? I recommend considering OBS Studio and learning about browser docs to see what slobs shows and more. Oh yeah, browser docs is how you do it. Huh. Stenos, I appreciate that. You know, I did at one point want to move over to OBS, but it's kind of like a if it ain't broke, don't try and fix it thing. And yeah, it might make sense. So there's things about slobs that kind of annoy me. Like the program always just feels a bit bulky and like sluggish for one. But it's like a time investment thing, and at some point I will probably want to do something like that. I think, especially knowing like it could make a performance difference. That definitely interests me now. Okay, and we also need some of these to send it down. We are, by the way, heading down towards, like, over here-ish? Like, the opposite of that one. So, actually, we kind of just need to go out down there, where there's already a... Kind of looks like I was planning this out, right? Like, I knew where I was going. Like, down there, that's where we'll go. So... Just for a second, this will be the longest signal. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If we just double up there and put the repeater, then we're good. Nice. Mr. Joker TV says, I made a switch back to OBS and stream elements personally, and I've seen pretty good performance change. I thought you were going to say that you'd made a go back to OBS plugin or something. Now you got me wondering, is there like an export feature? Like someone's made a switchback helper, or, you know, like sometimes you don't know what to ask for. I always find that interesting. Speaking of which, I've been using ChatGPT a lot lately to just like, I have a problem. What might help me, you know, fix it, or like what can I do with this program? And it's sent me down some interesting little rabbit holes. Like I was trying to create a script to shut down the computer, because before I shut it down, I learned that you can use the Stream Deck to put the Go XLR into sleep mode. This is all like just stuff that you know, you use the same things over and over again for years, and they get updated and they get features added, and you forget to go and look from time to time and see how you can optimize certain stuff. Okay, so there we go, we're at number 8. 9 and 10. Feel like we need another torch. Go a little bit further. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wait, what was that? Oh! Yeah, okay, that felt really weird. Now it makes sense. I placed them all in the wrong spot. Dang it, now I kind of lost count. I think I might not worry about getting the count exactly right too much here. So what I'll do is I'll put one there. And we'll have a repeater here and continue on. ChatGPT is really nice for repetitive situational scripts. You need to find all images with a width or height smaller than 5112 and move them into another dir. Just let GPT quickly write that. I got no idea what you mean about like finding images. Yeah. Anyway, something for me to look into. See if there's like a tool or a thing to help you switch from slobs to OBS. It's the browser docs thing though. That's what really makes a difference. It's like, oh, that's what it is. Now, because I think I know what those are. I just didn't realise that all of the slob stuff would come over. But yeah, kind of makes sense that it would. So what is that anyway? That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12. Still's a bit of a way to go. That's 13. This is 14. $15. Cool. Is it just me or is the music not playing? Says Zero Arrow. It's hit a bit of a lull. Bit of a quiet patch, but it's playing. Chat GPT helped me get a promotion at work with formulating HR things rather than having to type it out. I could adjust and tailor it to suit my needs completely. That's awesome. Yeah, just you can certainly leverage it. Free Cooker I probably butchered your name. That's an excuse to press another button. Thank you for using the Amazon Prime subscription. Peeps, if you did not know, you can use the Prime to subscribe on the twitch.tv/xisuma or any other channel. And also, if you haven't hit the follow button over here on Twitch, be sure to do so if you want to catch future live streams. Well, we most of the time just hang out and grind, right? All the grindy stuff for Hermitcraft. All the bits in between. Okay, so let's turn the corner again. Must be close now. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're going to, like, turn around about here. And then go in this direction, I think. Okay. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that one's probably going to make the whole distance, isn't it? Right, and there's that bit. Okay. So now what I need to do is just figure out the alignment. It seems to be the same height as the... Yeah, it's the same height as that, and it's over by a block. Wow, so it's literally there. That's pretty cool that we came that close. Here's another important question. What type of button does it have on it? Oh, was it a button or a lever? It's a lever. Interesting, because I thought this one was activated from 2 different locations. Or maybe it was, and the idea was that... Oh yeah, here you go. So I actually forgot to build that. Because you might want to activate it from that tunnel too. So we have to put in this system again, somewhere up the top there. So it's not a lever for on/off, it's a lever to send a redstone update. Also, weren't these like... They were already powered? No, they weren't powered. Okay, so we should be able to test this thing by connecting it up and using the lever. Which means I need a stick. Just one little stick from somewhere in the world. What's the quickest way to get a stick? Punch a leaf block? I left my I left my ender chest behind. Peeps, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna punch leaves. Here we go. I'm gonna punch leaves right here. When you come and play it in the world on the world download, you can head all the way over to this like janky tree and just be like, X, he punched those leaves for a stick. What a mad lad. Okay, now I'm thinking just get some of this and get some decay going too. Wait a minute. Okay, that's one thing that I needed. The other thing, I also need cobblestone, which I believe requires me finding cobble, which is not necessarily a naturally generating block unless you know where to look. Oh dang. Oh dang. I know where to look. Cobble! Oh, no wait, it's making stone! I've got it wrong! No! Oh, so funny. I should have gone to my ender chest. It's got everything I need in it. I don't even have a bucket. Like, dang it. I needed the water to flow down to where the lava was, right? Can I still do that some... Ah, whatever. Where is the closest block of cobble? I must know. Did someone leave it in a chest? Can I pinch a block from Battlebane? Why is it so hard to find cobble? It's now Minecraft's ugliest block and no one wants to touch it, basically. How do you guys get views and follows so easy? I'm trying. Still no single view, says Demon Gammon. Hey, I started 11 years ago. You know, I hit the ground running. I went and put my content in a place where people wanted to watch it. At a time when not everyone was trying to do that. If you wanna gain subscribers and stuff, like, You got to offer people something, and you got to find a way to show it to them. Demon says, what? I mean, what? I don't know. Care to elaborate? Oh, we lost one of them! Get out of my inventory. Right, now, the quest for a lever has been complete. Oh my god. It's just... to jankify the inventory. I don't care. Throwing it all away. Thank you for advice, says Demon Gaming. No problem, dude. No problem. Yeah, and there's one bit of advice that I always want to say, and I don't ever want it to sound mean. But it's a really hard thing. Like, you got to be critical towards yourself about what you're doing, right? Like, if you're coming out on the internet and thinking, you know, I wanna have all these viewers and have a good time and yada 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 and have people watch me. That's all well and fair, but is what you're doing something you would want to watch, right? Would you want to be on the other end of that deal? Would you want to be the person tuning in, you know? And you got to be honest with yourself and be serious about that, because I think one of the things that is a boundary to entry, if you like, is that some people just may not have. I think the repeaters are all facing the wrong way. You just may not have. Oh, and do you know what? I'm going to also then do that so I don't have to come back down here again. You just may not have the thing that other people want to watch, right? Like, people are born with different skill sets and different things, and I'm not trying to talk anyone out of doing this or giving it a try. It's more a case of like, do you know, like, can you step back and see what you're doing and realize if it has value to other people or not? And that can be tricky, because sometimes it's easy to be oblivious to your like own flaws or whatever, but you know, shouldn't be a reason not to try something. Okay, so now we got to construct that other piece of redstone. Where was it? All the way down here. Jeez. Am I going to remember how it works? What it looks like? It's... Ah! Gosh. Can't see it. I've gotten lost inside a cactus farm. There it is. Somewhere back here. Wow, why does it feel like it's hidden away? Or... am I looking in the right spot? Like, we found this thing super easy. Like, oh wait, is it here? Where is it? Oh my god, there it is. Okay, it's down here. Oh, and it sends the signal up. Right, okay. So, I'm just going to stare at it. I need to drink some coffee, because we went and made that. Can't let this one go cold. That would just be... ugh. This is basically, would you watch your own content? Yeah, that's the question to some extent. Oh, wow, that's still piping hot. Dang. Oh, TR9 says, had a folder with a bunch of images and needed to remove all the small ones too. I've got like tools for that. Like from way back when I used to do stuff where you'd have to manage lots of like files and things, and so I got this tool that like can batch rename or like batch this, batch that. Like it basically has a bunch of batch interactions where you can set parameters and it like sorts through files and then reorders them or renames them or resizes them. It's really handy. Not so much these days, but back then. Anyway. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. But what we've got to do is just separate it from what we're currently doing. So we need 3. We need 2 of them. Sorry, 1 of them. 2 of these. And probably some more redstone. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit shorter here so we have a bit more room. And that's not actually going to touch or interact with this. That's for something different now. In fact, I could really do with making this shorter still. These blocks are just in the way. I'm being lazy. Whoops. Okay, so with all of that punched out, what we're doing is we're gonna have we're gonna have that block there sometimes. Depends on where that sticky piston decides it goes. Then behind this, we need to have a discussion. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about redstone, people. Oh, I've turned into a clickbait thumbnail, have I? Jeez. How did that happen? Sometimes I'll say something and it will remind me of something. I was just reminding of those videos. We need to talk about this thing, apparently. We need to talk about it, people. When you like detox from the internet, like which I've definitely changed my diet, and then you see things again from like your old diet, and it's like, oh yeah, yeah, we need to talk about it, do we? Sure. I think you might. No. You need that there so it points into this. I was just wondering if I could move them forward a block, but let's not bother. So. I don't want it to like run directly next to that observer now that I think about it. That's the thing that I don't want to do. So we'll do it like this. Oh, interesting. Oliver says, can we appreciate the fact that? I don't think I've ever seen like reverse clickbait like that. We need to appreciate nature more. I bet that won't get any clicks. You think you know it all already. The ugly truth about redstone. I want to know what's in that video. Oh my god. I feel like lately I keep having these like kicks to do something comedic. That might be a concept. No, I'm just getting a little too excited over like picturing the thumbnail, but like you need content. You need a proper bit of something inside of that. Yeah, I've just had this like I've just watched so many video essays lately. I think it's pulled, like, the YouTube algorithm has sort of pulled me into a less, let's say, substantive? Doesn't sound right. Oh, there might be a flaw with my redstone here. That means every other input will... How did I set it up over here? I think I might just need one more piece of redstone. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Okay. So with the third piece of redstone... it's complete. Yeah, I feel like I've been pulled into this, like... I don't know, this area of those video essays which feel less substantive. They got less substance about them. And then you start to see the format more than you're watching, like, the actual thing in the video. So if you watch something about, like, something you're really interested in, it's like you get engrossed in that topic. And you're like, wow, oh, cool, interesting, dang. You know, all these things. All these little sounds that you'll make, little Xisuma sounds. But then when you're not as engrossed, that's when you start to like see the structure more. And in doing so, it's just, I don't know, it's going to make me feel like there's a parody there waiting to happen or something. Substantive, that sounds like the one. Substantial. Oh, look, we got multiple. We got multiple here. Love those answer the questions wrong shorts. Hilarious. They were great fun, weren't they? I need to continue with that in a way. So I've got some ideas. I just don't know quite where it's going to go yet. So down on the wall. Now I can't have it between because you know. But maybe like I'll just put it here. So it's going to be blocks, blocks, and then blocks, right? So this space that I'm clearing out, yes, will be terracotta blocks. And then what we'll do is we'll put in this to kind of remind me I've got a little redstone secret. There's my other clickbait right there. Xisuma's redstone secret. Oh, what have you done with redstone now, X? You rebel. Are you breaking the game? Okay. Actually, that's kind of like we're sort of interestingly positioned here. I go sort of, yeah. I'll figure it out. We're going this way now, and I'm out of torch. I need another torch. I'm going to steal a torch. It's dark and gloomy all the time. Need some more Minecraft statistics game shorts. Yeah, that'll be another good one, wouldn't it? Brutal truth behind Minecraft. Stellian, welcome to the stream. Oh man, that is some good midstream coffee. Breaking the game, you plan on stealing Doc's thing? I was just making a joke. I'm no game breaker. Ah! Okay, so now that we're pretty close. This will work out just fine. I reckon. Anyways, what are we going to talk about next, peeps? I'll tell you what we'll talk about. I finished watching House of Dragon. And to those of you that are deeply invested in my commentary on it, because I know I've read the emails. Okay, I've read the letters coming through the post. You know, some of you have written books. Okay, getting a bit heavy with it. Jeez, calm down. It's just my thoughts on a TV show. I'm talking nonsense. If anyone's like, what? I'm deliberately talking nonsense. There are no books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, numbers 11, 12, 13. We're good. We're good. We're good in the hood, homie. We're good in the hood. I should make the input there a lever too. What I like about it being a lever is just like you look at it and you switch it, and it gives you that sense of like a button. Like a button can send something off that doesn't come back, whereas the lever is more like immediate change. Anyway, I've got my things back, haven't I? Yeah. Right. I finished watching House of Dragon. What I'll say about it is that like I didn't really connect with a lot of the characters. As you were starting to connect with the first set of actors, they like swapped a fair few of them out, advanced the time along. But it does feel like it has built up to this conflict, and now you kind of understand where all the pieces on the table are. And so, you know, I was sort of thinking I might not continue this, but I think I'll check in for Season 2. I think it kind of builds up to a point that will be interesting. I think I'm going to sneeze as well. Let's see if we're going to sneeze. Oh, that was disgusting, that one. I'm glad I'm muted. Like last week when you said about the time jumps and the characters changing, I was like, yes, not just me. Yeah, it's really jarring, isn't it? The worst one for me was the Queen. Not Rhaenyra's, the other one, because the actress who first played her does such a great job of like putting the character's internal feelings on her face, and you can really like sense this sort of like torn between her, I guess, natural kindness maybe, and then her duty and the situation that she's in. But then the actress that replaces her doesn't feel like she approaches the character the same way. But anyway, yeah. So I'm done with that, and immediately I knew what I wanted to watch next, which was Chernobyl, which was just amazing. Like when I watched it when it first came out, wow, what a show! Watching it again, it's brilliant. Now I'm picking it apart a little bit more, and I know it's like the dread of the show, or it's like atmosphere and suspense. A lot of it kind of relies on you initially knowing how potentially dangerous a nuclear disaster can be, and like that alone, I think, gives it a lot of power in kind of holding over this suspense and this feeling of dread as you're watching it, like, and I think I expressed this like last time I watched it, or if I ever talked about it, or at least thought this, but like the way they portray the Russian workers is interesting, because like the Soviet Union, it was like in some sense it was like a closed society to the rest of the world. Like it was closed off. and not so much was known about how it was run, or at least they tried to. It was a very secretive time between these different superpowers in the world. I wish I could just have haste right now so I could continue digging. Dang it. We're like slightly out of range of that. And so it does like shows you the incompetency of the bureaucracy in an interesting way. How truthful it is, I don't know. I do remember watching a documentary about the Chernobyl miniseries and just how accurate it was and stuff. And a lot of it is very faithfully redone, like shot for shot with the surviving footage from Chernobyl. You know, when you see them run on the roof and throw stuff over the edge, like that's almost like shot for shot. But what I found interesting was like the attitude of the workers and how easily like they gave up their health and their lives to help the situation. And it just like the ideas of like socialism and communism, that kind of topicality, so quickly does it always just get drawn into these like camps and corners and people arguing, bickering. But like I would like to better like understand and learn and know about like what happened and what went on from a broader perspective, because there's always like, whatever your like view on one thing or another is, there's always like elements of good and bad. And so like for me, for example, I'm not a nationalist. I don't like the idea of like national identity, and a lot of what it's about doesn't appeal to me. But having listened to other people talk about like positive things about nationalism, like it is a way to bring people together who don't know each other. You know, like there's a commonality to it. You can get people to be more neighborly and whatnot because of this common idea of nationalism and hey, we're from like the same country or whatever and for the common cause. So like it's always like that, and I just feel like, you know, I don't know how accurate it was, but some of the ideals meant that these people were like willing to put their own life and their health on the line to go and help in this situation. And in different societies, I don't know how something like that would unfold, where there's a disaster, like let's say it happened here in the UK, which is like I guess a capitalist democracy that's also a monarchy, and you know, apparently we got freedom, but wherever you got freedom, there's always some restrictions on certain freedoms, so you're not free to do anything. But one thing I don't think they could do is they couldn't like tell people to go and sacrifice their lives for something like this in the way that they did in, or at least was portrayed in that show, right? So like, if something like Chernobyl happened here, I'm not sure that I would sign up. Like like it's selfish. Maybe when you're actually presented with that situation, you realize like, yeah, this is so disastrous. I should, I'm here. Someone's got to pay the price or whatever. Like maybe you'd step up when it's real, it's in front of you. But it's just got me thinking about how society shapes people and how those ideas shape them. And like, what if that happened what if Chernobyl didn't happen in Russia, but it happened, or Ukraine, wasn't it? But what if it happened in America or Germany or England? Like, how would the response change based on the way the society was? Because the initial idea with the show is that you see the incompetency and the bureaucracy getting in the way, and like the system of serving the state gets in the way, and like their inability to deal with the truth over like the objectives. So like, what would happen in a different society? Because that bit's easy to look at and go, that's why it was so terrible. But then there's also this element of people being willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. And it, like, the way it's presented in the show, it seems sort of motivated by their identity as being part of the Soviet system. But the same happened in Fukushima: greed and incompetence, says Curls. And what about the response though? Like, I've never seen what happened in Fukushima portrayed in like a light like Chernobyl has been with this show. And again, like, some of this stuff can be embellished and not really truthful and whatnot. people have kind of become desensitized to events like that, because back then it was a horrific, once in a lifetime heard about event. But now with the internet, it's kind of normal, says Omniholic. I kind of know what you mean, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like, we are more desensitized, I think, these days, because we know so much more, and then it becomes normalized. I get what you're saying. Oh, by the way, I'm just finishing off this coffee here while it's nice and hot. Everything is a crisis nowadays, says Ono95. Maybe. Ono95, I feel like that's a name I've known for a while, but just guzzling that off. I don't know, something about that name just rang, like, I think I know what it is actually. Now, it reminded me of like a username of someone I used to play a game with online or something like that. That's what it was. Totally forgot what. Oh, the USA did have it. It's 3 Mile Island a long time ago, says Michonne. Michonne Free. That is not an event even comparable with the scale of Chernobyl. Like, I know all about 3 Mile Island, and it is not an incident. It's more of an incident that had a bigger impact because of the scare, whereas Chernobyl was an incident where maybe the response was underwhelming compared to the severity. Yeah, other people in chat are saying it as well, that like 3 Mile isn't even close. Yeah, it's 3 Mile isn't really just in the same conversation as Chernobyl. Right, so down in this area, one of the things I wanted to do was build a shulker box loader around here. And I got to kind of consider that there is other terrain nearby. And then start to decorate this area, which is why we went and got some warped wood and some copper blocks. I don't really know where to start, but I think starting with the shulker box loading contraption would be a good idea, because it needs doing. Old people offered to go in and help with the cleanup in Fukushima so that younger ones wouldn't get radiated. I don't know how many the media has spread fear around the event and made it seem worse than it is in general. So a lot of the reaction was manipulated by that. So many things that happen come with this like tug of war of interpretation and like, is this as bad as you think it is and stuff. And for me, with the sort of information I've consumed around nuclear energy and whatnot, to me it feels like there is obviously an immense environmental risk and whatnot that comes with it, but it's one that's like quite big, so it's easy to just fall into that, you know, kind of like nuclear hysteria, and it's a lot harder to understand all the different aspects of nuclear energy and fuel. Like some people will go, oh, we shouldn't have nuclear energy because then we'll make nuclear weapons. And those, like, that's not how it works. Like, having a nuclear power plant does not give you the keys to make nuclear warheads. So, like, the answer is always really more difficult and nuanced, and there's so many things that you got to learn about. And in learning about many of them, I've become quite convinced that nuclear power should have probably been like the way forward, and that it would have gotten better and safer with time too. But it's sort of been stifled, and it has a terrible reputation, one that's been like tainted by things like The Simpsons with, you know, like the glowing green. This is the one, by the way. You got the glowing green uranium and Mr. Burns running the nuclear plant. Like it, yeah, we know it's a fictional show, but it creates an impression of things too. Oh yeah, I have the building bit here. The building bit's got to go for the minute. Then we've still got that project on. Ice Therm aesthetic. Then this one now needs to be lowered. So yeah, I forgot quite where that started, but the more that I've learned about nuclear power and nuclear energy, the more I think it's unfortunately had a very sort of tainted view or whatever, you know, like, is that the right word? Maybe someone in chat can take over. Nuclear energy can always be converted to thorium and away from uranium. The development for uranium came with the weaponization of uranium as well. We simply have not reinvested into alternative radioisotopes, says Callan Ray. I guess my whole thing with nuclear energy is that when a bridge or a building collapses, it's bad, but whereas when a nuclear reactor goes down, it can be catastrophic. It's not a matter of if, but when a reactor will fail. Is it though? Is it? Like, something has to go wrong for it to fail, and that's like always a consequence of anything we do. There's always risk and reward. The bigger the reward, the greater the risk, they tend to say. But also, like, it's a matter of like technology and investment, which can improve over time. Like, things today are much better. If you wanted to run a Chernobyl-sized operation today, like, you would not be looking at the level of risk at all. And you can also, you know, mitigate the risk or the consequences of it with better knowledge, better understanding of what to do as well, right? So, okay, I think I'm going to need to, like, to fit this thing in, I'm going to need to flip it. Oh, actually, I might want to flip it sideways. It's going to be an odd one to figure out where to put this. Well, there's also the issue with where radioactive waste that will be produced by the plants. It needs to go somewhere, and the oceans or landfills are no option, says Antikartha. Yeah, like, there are people that have like worked on these ideas. This is the thing that I didn't know when I was younger. Like, when I was younger, I was in the sort of like anti-nuclear camp. And then slowly over time, with my curiosity and the access to information with like science communicators on YouTube, like, you start getting answers to these questions. You start to learn more about what that looks like, because they can actually reuse nuclear fuel. But due to the nuclear scare, they stopped creating more nuclear power plants, and some of the ones that they were going to create were the ones that reused some of the old fuel. So I think I just clicked on the wrong button. Move to player is what I clicked on, right. Okay, there we go. I just can't imagine a world where the construction of these reactors isn't going to have corners cut and safety compromised for profit, says Walker. Okay, but, like, you can imagine a world where that doesn't happen. I get what you're saying. And that's the way, like, you're identifying the way it should be done properly, right? Like, I think if we're just going to say that's a reason not to do it, like, then there's no fight to do it properly. Like, I'm not for nuclear power where we cut corners. I'm for nuclear power where we do it smart and right and safe and effective, and, you know, like, that's the way things should be done. And I don't think stuff should be written off because, you know, yeah, you can do anything bad. You know, I shouldn't be streaming because I could be effing and jeffing and saying horrible stuff and, you know, spreading hateful ideas on a live stream, right? Like, no, you do it right. You do it the right way. Like, I guess that's the argument for me, is that there's a right way to do it. And the thing itself isn't inherently awful. It's the application of it. Okay, this is definitely going to be a tricky one to, like, fit just in the right spot and then realise if we can sort of finagle it all together. Actually, that's great, because that dropper there is the one, isn't it? Yeah, then okay. That's interesting then. So what's this thing here? Like, is that's just a hopper that doesn't do anything for some reason. Okay, wow. Okay, we put it in the right spot. The question is, do I want it to be here? I think we do. I think we want it to be here. We don't need that part of the contraption. And the contraption is one wide. Therefore, okay, we found the spot. Now, here's another thing I'm going to do. If we move this to here, we don't have to see as much of that obnoxious top part that we're not actually building. Cool. All right. Okay, we're set. Nuclear power is the cheapest way to produce power because sun needs a lot of clean space. Wind needs heights. I don't know where the rest of that sentence is going. To see and space again and to produce the same amount of energy, you need to invest a lot more. Yeah, again, like everything's always complicated and tricky. It's not simple. It's not like, you know, solar is the answer. It's like we probably need a whole bunch of different things as the solution. We probably need a lot of diversification and to deploy particular technologies in a smart way where most applicable, right? Like, and that's always the harder, more complicated thing to ask and doesn't really, or sorry, to understand. It doesn't really like boil down into that simple, you know, stop nuclear bad. Like, it's easy to understand stuff when it's just portrayed in a very simple way. Right, I don't think we really need anything down at this level, so we won't build that bit. Because, you know, solar has its flaws too, you know, it's made of rare earth metals, and there's ethical concerns about how those are gathered. And, oh, okay, right, so that's like the edge of that area. And another thing is, like, we talk about the environmental consequences of nuclear power, but like compared to fossil fuels, it's like negligible at the same sort of scale of deployment. Like, we forget how much damage fossil fuels has done to our environment, to the air quality, to our health. And it just becomes something like this ambient thing that you like tolerate. So then when you talk about nuclear, you think of it as like if like you're getting, by using nuclear, you're also taking away the reliance and the use of fossil fuels, right? That factors in too. Anyway, I wasn't actually trying to talk too much about, you know, nuclear power itself, because I'm not an expert. Like, I'm someone who just listens to people who know about this stuff and end up being somewhat convinced that maybe I had the wrong idea about it all. It also depends largely on location. Like, solar isn't the most efficient in the UK, whereas wind and hydro will be, says Mystic Warden. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, like, don't build solar in a cloudy part of the world where it's always, where you never see the sun, you know? X, have you seen Mumbo's latest video? At one point, he pushes an armor stand with Frostwalker boots to make ice. I immediately thought you'd have fun creating an ice farm for that mechanic, says Barely Competent Gaming. You can't make an ice farm with it because it makes a different type of ice, which you can't, as the player, you can't actually use it. It's like, I forget what it's called. What is that type of ice called? It definitely has like a custom name. Okay, chest at the bottom. Oh, how did that get placed so incorrectly? Let me on, let me on. Bam. Yeah, this dropper was for that spot there as well. I think you're on the right track, X. Not saying I'm an expert, but I am in the utility industry. A lot of what you're saying coincides with talks I have heard from, says Unstopper Blob. Yeah, there has been like a bit of a movement, a bit of a push. And if you get pulled into like these spheres of conversation, then it'll probably sound a little familiar what I'm saying, because, you know, I've been listening to podcasts with like nuclear physicians and whatnot, and sort of half remembering stuff. Like, I'm very, very aware that, like, listening to a podcast doesn't make you an expert. But it does kind of give you, like, a window into other ways of seeing the world. And, yeah, because of that, my views have changed so much over time. I'm excited that fusion energy is finally proven possible, but we're at least a decade away from a working model. Probably far more. We need to put our interim techs to use. Probably not a dice goblin says, sort of unrelated. Times are definitely changing. Back when I was little, you didn't share personal details online. Internet safety was #1 priority in my school. Wow, really? And this was a time when most of us only had internet access at the library. Nowadays, it's like I'm reminding so many of folks to teach cousins internet safety because they were exposed to the internet from practically birth, and I think disclosing their full names and locations is normal. Yeah, I very much feel the same way about like online hygiene and safety and your data and stuff. But you know, as you said, it's like that's the changing world, right? Like, and that's, you know, times are changing. Times are always changing, right? We keep just moving forward. We don't slow down. We don't stop and turn around. And so the landscape of things is always going to change. Like AI, like the AI revolution is happening, like big time. People are, I think people are really starting to come to grips with how much this is going to change everything. But like having, again, because like with my podcast selection, I've been listening to like podcasts about AI for years. Like, and it's gone from being this like fascination of like, oh, the possibilities and hearing people talk about the potential, which is some of the things we're seeing happening right now. And now it's actually happening. And it is just wild, and it's gonna be so rapid and crazy and transforming so much of the world. But like, that's kind of just what happens, because that's what's always happened. Just living in the society of today compared to 100 years ago is always, well, I say always, like you can go back like 1,000 years and then all of a sudden there's not too much between 100 years, right? But like bringing it closer to where we are now, the pace of change is just continuously increasing, it feels like. And so in our lifetimes we're gonna see society change and feel so different. Right, that is actually a working contraption right there. That's all I needed to build. It has been snugly fit into the right place. And now we need a way to access it. This is the way you get to the farm. I think we need a ladder here now because... oh, dang. Like... or maybe a ladder to this spot? I'm not sure if a ladder would mess with that. So you want a ladder to here and then you want to walk in there. See, I'm looking at that bit and I'm... wait a minute, that doesn't have to stay there. We can modify that. The only thing is, it's going to activate the contraption. Yeah, that's fine though. We can put this here. And it will essentially behave the exact same way, which is cool. So I can just put that back. Nice. And do I have any empties? That's not an empty. That's an empty. Right, okay, so I think the way you get in and out of this contraption is with the ladder here, and then we'll sort of decorate it in a way where it goes like up and down. So then you can get like directly to this bit. We might cover up some of this redstone, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, I was listening to some stuff about what's happening in the world of music and AI. Like, who's heard AI Drake or like, oh, there's so many voices that have been AI'd now, and then they can get them to sing other people's songs, or they can like update how a certain person's voice sounds in a song, and like it is so darn realistic, and you know it's only going to get better as well, right? Like the whole music landscape is going to change, and a lot of people talk about this from like a negative perspective, and I tend to just think about it from like a neutral kind of like, what is that future actually about? What does it actually look like? And with music, I just think you're going to live, like the landscape is going to be different. Imagine that you grow up in the future and you're not invested in the fears of today. The fears that we have today, whatever the outcome are the normals of tomorrow. So like, you're not scared about AI replacing a call center job, right? AI Kanye, that was one of them, yep. Like, because call centers don't exist, you don't know about them. It's just normal that the AI talks to you. It's just normal that your AI is part of your day planner, or maybe your AI is your teacher in the future. You know, you learn about how teachers used to be real people. Like, it'll just be normal to that generation. So if you zoom ahead and you think from their perspective, like, they are not going to have as much of a emotional attachment to the things that we do right now. That's the way that I think about this stuff. Like, I am not going to be like, I know I will have emotions about it, but like, in the future, people will not be emotionally attached to the situation we're in right now. In the same way that people aren't emotionally attached to people that used to work horse and carriage, right? Before motor vehicles came and replaced it. And people aren't attached to the original computers, who were people computing, you know, with a pen and paper, right? Adding numbers and subtracting and stuff. Like, you don't feel those pains anymore, right? But you'll feel the pains of, like, the current transition. So, in the future, imagine that people, they don't really care, like, that the music is AI generated or whatever, because their experience might be really different from ours. It might be, like, music might be, I want to hear that voice in this style at this BPM. Like, you might just describe to your music player what you want to hear, and it just curates it for you, you know? I want to hear Kanye and Drake do a collaboration about Minecraft blocks. And then boom, you know, up comes the rap. And they're all rapping about Minecraft. I'm placing my dirt, I'm mining my stone. You know? And they won't be attached, and it will just be normal. And that massively intrigues me, because in music, I can totally see it. I can totally see how you can capture so many elements. AI can process lyrics and language, it can create beats and grooves, like, all the elements are there to be fused together. And like, when you connect enough parts, you're going to have this future where you just sort of tell it, you know, what you want to listen to, right? Tank CY says, movies like iRobot and Terminator, I think, have done to AI what The Simpsons have done about nuclear power. Yeah, they have. They've characterized it, right? Whereas it's harder to, like, learn about this stuff on a deeper level, because it's like, it's a massively complicated field with lots of different moving parts and people involved in it. Yeah, sometimes I hear some of the discussion against it, and people will make points where it's like, no, there's actually people that work on this kind of stuff, you know, like, there's a lot of fear that AI will replace us. It's being actively worked on. It is not like, it is not something that people who are building these tools are not aware of. And yeah, just the more you learn about it, like, it just becomes a bigger thing that's harder to, like, boil down into just some simple idea. I think I like the idea of this bit here being the stems. What I need to do really is get, like, a bit of a palette together and start pulling some shapes into this space, because that's kind of what's needed here. I think AI is a novel idea, but personally I can find myself being bored of it eventually, says Monpie. Like, what would be boring about it? Because it can produce music like we have now, right? Like, it's building, like, all music is built off of previous music, and that's what it's gonna do. I don't know. I feel like I should really get, like, back to focusing on what we're doing here, but we've had a right old waffle today. Sometimes I'm just not quite in the like, right mood to work on this stuff, but we can keep tearing out some blocks and opening this area up so we just kind of, like, understand the space that we're dealing with here. Because we've got to now decorate this and make it interactable. Actually, I'm not sure if I do like the mushroom blocks there. Need to find a few more blocks to put into the equation, I think. So, another piece of AI news that I heard today, which blew my mind, is you have an MFRI scan. Now, an MRI scan is a brain scan of sorts. And I think the F is the one that's more, like, live. because they've been hooking up these AI systems to brain scans and starting to get some, like, not fully coherent data, but like linkable data where it's looking at this image of the brain and it's able to connect like the thoughts of the person. So there were some examples of like the person was thinking about, I need to get a taxi at this time of day, and the AI was spitting out like, that taxi ride was really good yesterday, or like it had little bits right, but like didn't have the whole picture. And I was like, whoa, that is phenomenal. Like, brain, oh my god. Now that one is scary, I'll give you that. Like, that kind of power in the wrong hands, that feels very invasive. That's one of those ones where I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But, I mean, like, it's easy to imagine negative consequences of certain things. But, like, what about the positives? There could be positives that emerge from such technology. Like, maybe it helps diagnose mental disorders and finds new treatments for people. Like, who knows where it's gonna go? It's wild, right? And again, it's usually not the technology, it's who's wielding it. So like, you know, give the CIA and the FBI the ability to read people's minds. That's probably going to ruffle your feathers. You're like, oh, I don't like the sound of that. But then if you imagine it in the hands of medical professionals and therapists, then you might be like, well, you know, like maybe this could be helpful in some way, having an insight into how someone's mind works. I know that like a lot of my troubles were linked to how I used to think and feel about stuff, how there was just a swell towards negativity, and over time having to learn to kind of reshape my own thoughts was my way away from that. So like I can take that experience and see how that might be something that's actually like useful or helpful. You could watch your dreams like a movie, says Curls of Doom. That's possible too. AI leads to oversaturation with content where it takes even more effort to stand out. You could end up chaining AI actions all day with not much difference. I'm not sure about that, because like we live in the most heavily saturated content environment of all time right now, right? Like, I remember being a kid in the 90s and watching VHS tapes, and now there's like 100 times more content available. There's like more content being produced that you can watch and consume in many different varieties, especially music. Music's so much more accessible. You used to have to play instruments and find a recording studio once upon a time. You know, like we are living in a content saturated time. So if you're complaining about it now, then okay, but like if you're not, more content going into the mix, people will filter out the stuff they want to watch. You know? Yeah. I missed the stream when X built his TCG shuffler design, and I don't know which one I should be looking for. When did it even happen? I'm trying to do a similar thing for a minigame on a service, as Neo says, meow. I mean, it'll be there in my Xisuma 2 history. I'm not sure roughly when, but if you just use the date of when the TCG arena was built and go back a little bit, I'm sure you'll find it on the second channel. And you kind of reminded me of something, that I need a thumbnail, right? I like getting at least something vaguely interesting in the thumbnail. I feel like where we started was the most interesting place, over at Scars. Maybe I'll stand around over here. Like, try and land on that. This is where my ladders come in handy. I can now get up to here. This is how we're going to use the contraption. You stand here. Now, if I... Oh, let me jump. There we go. I put myself right in the middle of all this redstone gahoozle. Let's get a nice old zoom on it. That feels like my thumbnail right there. Right in the weeds of the redstone, me. Just going to bookmark that for later. Conboy, 69 months. Thank you ever so much for coming by and subscribing with the Amazon Prime, my dude. Appreciate you using that on me. Thank you for the subscription. It is appreciated. Right. This is the end of the music, which means it's the end of my stream. And, gonna send you over to Tanisha again. I really like her Minecraft world. Cool person. Right, yeah. So I'm doing a raid. Gosh, I've sort of forgotten how to do the stuff and the things. Anyway, that's it from me. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.